Hi, it's getting really close to Father's Day, so I thought this would be a great time to share this craft idea with you. And what it is it's a Father's Day card, which is in the shape of a tie and shirt. And so there's two different types of cards, and there's also a picture frame that you could put it in. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do these crafts, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you go ahead and get your paper. So this is origami paper, and it can be a little bit hard to find, but I found this at Holly Lobby, 500 sheets. It's a 6x6, and the reason that this paper is the better type of paper to use is just easier to see your folds, it's easier to see the creases, and just pretty much easier to work with. It's a thinner type of paper. But if you can't find this, you can go ahead and use pretty much any other kind of paper. So here's some pieces that I have just cut to different sizes that I might need. And then this is just regular copy paper, and it's pretty close to the origami paper. It's just the origami paper is a little bit thinner. Cardstock, which can be pretty tough to work with. It's a thicker paper, so it's pretty tough to work with, but if I'm going to make a card, then this might be the paper that I want to use. And then this is just regular construction paper. So once you have your paper, you're ready to go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with the tie now. And so I've got my piece of paper. This is the 6x6 piece of paper. And I'm going to go ahead and start by taking the two corners, and then I'm just going to touch the two corners and then press in the center there. And then I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Match the two corners up and then press in the center. Once I've done that, there's going to be like a T in the middle, and that's just the centerpiece that I'm going to be working with. All right, now I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to go ahead and fold it up. And once I have it in the center, I'm going to crease it down. Okay, same thing with the other side. I'm going to go ahead and fold it up, match it right there, meet right there in the center. Once I have it in the center, I'm going to crease it down. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to fold up this half here, and I'm going to meet it in the center again. Center is my working point. Once I have it there, I'm going to press everything down. Okay, same thing with the other side. I'm going to fold it up, meet in the center. Once I have it there, I'm going to crease everything down. All right, now what I want to do is I want to take this end piece and I want to fold it up, match it right there, meet everything up, crease it down, okay? All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my tie and I'm going to turn it over. Here's what I've got. Here's the front of the tie. Here's what it looks like so far. And remember, this is the center right here. And now what I want to do is I want to take this piece and I want to fold it down to the center. Okay, so it's a little bit stiff, so you kind of have to just work with it. Get there. And once you're there, once you have it in place, you can go ahead and press down on your paper, crease it down. Okay. Now the next part is a little bit tricky, because right here where everything meets, you need to pretend that there's an invisible line that goes across here, because I'm going to fold back on this invisible line. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my paper and I'm going to push it back as close as you can come. This is forming the knot on your tie. Okay, and then once you have it there, press everything down. And this is what you should have so far. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and flip my paper back over again, and I want to pretend that there's an invisible line right here. I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm just going to pretend there's an invisible line right here, and I'm going to fold it back right there. Okay, press it down. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to pretend there's an invisible line right here and push it back and press it down. Okay, so now here's what I have so far. And now what I want to do is I want to make a line, a diagonal line that goes down to this corner right here. And this is a little bit tricky. So just come as close as you can. And sometimes it's easier to kind of start backwards from the bottom and work your way up. So just as close as you can come, and then once you have it in place, just press it down. Same thing with the other side. I want to get to this corner down here, making a diagonal line. So I'm just going to work kind of backwards and press it down and get everything in place and then push it down. All right, so here's what I have so far. Now, if I look at the front of my tie, it's kind of squared, and I don't want that square look, so I have one more step to do. And what I want to do is I want to open this part up right here, and I'm going to flatten it. But when I'm flattening, making it flat, I want to make sure that I have kind of an angle there, kind of a point. So I'm kind of shaping it as I go, and then once I have it in place, I'll push everything down. Okay, I'm opening it at this part here, and I'm going to make it that kind of an angle, kind of a point up there. So I'm shaping it, have everything where I want it, and then pressing it down so that it's got more of a point when I look at my tie. And there's my tie. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and work on the shirt. This is the size that I actually used for the picture frame. It was the 6x6 piece of paper. And the reason this makes such a nice gift is you could also write Happy Father's Day, Happy Birthday. You could have the whole family kind of sign the card or sign the shirt. And then it's just putting it in a frame makes it last forever. So it's a really great gift idea. I'm going to go ahead and move this off to the side, and we'll work on the shirt. And the shirt is just regular copy paper. There's no fancy paper involved here, but you could find paper that is nice at the craft store, or you could also just make a design and print it out. But anyways, this is just regular copy paper. So we're going to start by going ahead and folding the bottom, flip it over, and then fold it back about 1.5 inches. Now I can kind of eyeball 1.5 inches. I don't really need to measure that because I know it will be pretty close. And then I'm going to go ahead and use a ruler, and I am going to measure this next part, and that's because I'm going to cut a couple slits here, and I want to make sure that they're the same size. So I'm going to measure 2 inches on each side. Okay, go ahead and measure 2 inches on each side, and then I'm just going to use my scissors, and I'm going to cut a slit on both sides. So right up against that collar line, I'm going to go ahead and cut a slit there, and then the same thing on the other side. I'm going to again by the collar line, and then cut a slit there. Alright, so now this is the back of my shirt, because this is the back of the collar. I'm going to go ahead and turn my paper over. And then I'm going to go ahead and take one side of the collar, and I'm going to fold it down. So get it there, and then just press down. And then I'm going to take the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing. But before I press this side down, I kind of want them to meet there in the middle. So I'll kind of place it there, and then I'll go ahead and press everything into place. Alright, so there's my shirt so far, but the one thing I want to do next is I want to go ahead and fold back the shoulders. I don't want the square shoulders, so I'm going to fold back the shoulders, just kind of making a triangle, little triangle, folding it back that way, and then same thing on the other side. Alright, so my shirt is done. The only thing I need to do now is go ahead and slip the tie in there, and I can go ahead and put the tie in there, and then I can go ahead and glue it down and keep so that I can keep it in place when I go to put it in my picture frame or while everybody's signing it. So other than that though, it's ready to go. Okay, I'm going to start by showing you the card that opens up from the side here. And so I've already made the tie. All the ties are made exactly the same way. The only difference is that this is a smaller piece of paper. This piece of paper is a 4x4. So depending on the size of your card or your project, you're going to have to adjust the size of your paper for your tie. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started on this shirt for this card. Alright, so I have a piece of cardstock here, and because cardstock is, of course, a good piece of paper for cards, I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half. So we're just going to go ahead and lay it there, and then crease down all that edge there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold back my paper. I'm making the collar, and it's going to be that 1.5 inches again. Remember, this is tougher paper to work with, so just do the best you can. I'm going to go ahead and fold it back the 1.5 inches and then crease it really well. Alright, and now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure for my slits, but instead of using the 2 inches, I'm just going to go with 1.5 inches because this is a smaller piece of paper that I'm working with. So I'm just going 1.5 inches here. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut the slits, just like I did with the other shirt. Okay, and then same thing on this side. A little bit tougher because it's cardstock. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and open the whole card up. And then what I want to do is I want to cut off the back of my card. Okay, my card opens this way. This is the front of my card. This is the back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right there where that crease is. And I'm going to cut that piece off. And then right there where I did my slits, I'm going to go all the way across and cut that piece off. And you might have to go back and just make sure that there's no straight edges just kind of flopping off. Anyways, all right, so now I'm going back to the front of the card and I'm folding my collar back, because remember that's the back of the collar, creasing it really well. And now I'm ready to do my fold. Exactly the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and fold down on the collar, okay, placing it where I want it, and then pressing back, folding back at an angle. All right, and then same thing with the other side. I'm going to go ahead and fold it. I want to meet right there where they're meeting, and then press down. Okay, and so there's my shirt. I'm not going to fold back the corners like I did with the other, because if I did, my shirt wouldn't open. So, okay, there's my shirt, and then all I have to do now is go ahead and get my tie in there. Okay, and then once my tie is in there, I could go ahead and glue everything in place so that, because it's a card, so that it's not moving when the card is lifted up. But other than that, my card is all set. Okay, now I'm going to show you the card that flips open this way. And the thing with the tie here is that this one was actually the 4x4, and you can see it's a little bit long. I could just adjust my collar and then maybe raise the tie a little bit, or just trim it if I want this size, or I could go with a smaller one. This is a 3.5 by 3.5, so you just kind of have to decide how you like that. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and work on this card next. The thing that I did do is I trimmed down my paper, so this is only 6 inches wide, and then I left the original 11 inches. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold the card down and meet the ends there. And then once I've got it all lined up, go ahead and press down the top part of that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and fold back. This is the top part. I'm going to go ahead and fold back my collar again. I'm going to fold it back about 1.5 inches, same as the other one. Okay, now here's where it's a little bit different. I'm going to open it up, and when I open it up, I'm going to measure that 1.5 inches on the line, because I'm actually going to be making my slits in a different place. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it back, and then I'm going to go ahead and measure that 1.5 inches right there, and then I'm going to do the other side, and again the 1.5 inches. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut my slits on that line. Okay, same thing to the other side. On the line, I'm going to cut my slit. Okay, so this becomes my collar. Those two pieces become my collar. Again, I'm going to fold it at an angle, just like I have with all the others. And then I'm going to fold this side at an angle. I want to go ahead and make sure that they meet in the center there. Press everything down. And then there's my shirt. My shirt is, that's the card. It's ready to go. I might want to bend this part back a little bit so that it folds, but other than that, my card is there. And then all I have to do again is slip the tie in there, glue everything into place, and then my card is ready to go. So you can see that the cards or even the picture frame really make for a nice gift idea, a nice way to tell the special man in your life how wonderful they are. And I just think that's something that they really would appreciate. So anyways, thanks for being with me today, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.